Hello. So what do we got on tap for today? Well, I'm gonna do a little bit of building using pallets. Yay, pallets. We're gonna try and start putting together, cobbling together what will be our pig shelter, because we are still planning to get pigs to grow over the winter, to fatten up and ready for slaughter in the spring. So to do that, I need to have a shelter for them. I'm kind of doing this one off the top of my head. I have a vague notion of how I want to use those. Basically, I want to do, so most stock pallets are 48 by 42, 48 by 40, somewhere in there. I might have a tape measure. I do. We can take a quick measure on this and just see what these are roughly. So 40, and this is not a good measure because it's, there we go, by 48. So my thought is 48 inches tall, so I'll set them on that side, and then we'll run 3 or 4 across the back side, 2 on each end, which, let's see if I do my math real quick. 40 times 3 would be 120, so that'd be about 12 feet wide. If we do 2 side by side, that would be 80 inches, so about 7 feet. Is that right? 7.5 feet deep and 48 inches tall. Plenty of room for 2 pigs. Don't know what breed we're getting. We're probably going to get a mixed breed because it's just we're getting what we can. I did get in touch with a supplier who has Poland China pigs, which I like the idea, the research I've done with Poland China pigs, but I just don't know if it's worth the drive and the money that he's going to want for those pigs. And they're good pigs. I'm not knocking it. I just don't know, again, with our resources and what we want to do, we may just get mixed breed from a local supplier and kind of shoot crap with it and see what happens. I know I may have just committed a homestead sin for some people. I look at it as it's the choice between doing that and doing nothing until spring. I choose to take a little bit of a gamble. That's what my wife and I are comfortable with. You guys do what you're comfortable with. But that should be more than enough of a shelter for 2 little pigs to grow up, to get nice and fat. When I get over there, I'll show you how I'm going to orient it. We got to make sure we orient it so that the purpose of the shelter is not just to provide them a dry place, but it's also to provide them a place protected from the wind. So we have to orient it in relation to the prevailing winds, which we'll talk about when we get over there. Okay, so I'm going to set this down and get my stuff together, and I'll meet you over there. Okay, so we're out in our area in what's going to be our in-ground garden / pig pen. For reference, again, should have already seen this in the video, I think, or in another video. I don't know how I'm editing this yet. I'm kind of filming and I'm way behind on putting the videos up, editing them together and putting them up. So, but I don't want to lose content by making progress on projects. I think you understand what I'm saying. I've got a lot of editing to do, and I'm not sure where you're going to see things. So I'm just going to give you a quick reference point. Here's our chicken area, the raised garden, the coop, obviously the house, and here's where our fence line used to be, well, is still. And what I've done is we've gotten rid of this part that goes from here this way. And we talked about this in our fantasy walk videos about what we're going to do. And now we're doing it. So here is going to be, we'll put up a gate, but tripping on stuff. We'll put up a gate here. This is going to just be a walk-in area. The fence now runs all the way down there, and it's just barbed wire just to keep the cows out, and then over to the property fence line. And all this area is going to be where we do our raised garden, or not raised gardens, our in-ground garden. We're going to put at least one, maybe two hoop houses down there, some in-ground stuff that doesn't require hoop houses, and then we'll utilize this area. But in the winter time, we're going to use this as our pig pen, and that's what I'm working on today. You can see I already started putting up the pallets. So let's explain what I'm doing here. Like I said, I'm kind of doing this off the top of my head. Gonna use old T-posts that used to be part of this fence line here, as kind of braces on both ends to help everything stand up, at least while I'm putting it together, and to just kind of keep it from moving around too much. I'm just tacking them together right now, here and here. But this is also a good lesson of why you never, or not say ever, but scrap. I'm going to be able to use this scrap to help reinforce and put those together without using up new wood, fresh wood. Again, utilize the resources that you have, and hold on to things that are perfectly good, even if you don't have a reason for them yet. If you hold on to them forever and ever and ever, and like a whole year goes by and you haven't figured out a use for them, sure, then you can think about repurposing them to the landfill. But scraps of wood like that, they're golden for projects like this. Anyway, so I'm gonna go. I did change my mind. I'm going to do 40 high and take advantage of their width, because I think this is going to be plenty height, especially when I add some risers and a roof, pitched roof. This is going to be plenty high, and I don't want it to be too high because that's going to allow more wind and draft to get in. So you want it high enough to give them room comfortably to go in and out of and lay down and all that good stuff, but you don't want it to be so high that you're letting excess draft in. Now, how am I orienting this? That's west, south, east, north. Looking up the weather data, historical, our winter prevailing winds are, well, they kind of move around, but they're generally northwesterly, which means they're going to be coming this way and this way predominantly. Doesn't mean there can't be a south wind or an east wind from time to time. It just means predominantly. So I want to orient the shelter in a way that provides the best protection from those winds over the winter time. And so I'm basically putting the back to the west, this side to the north. There's a tree here that's going to help be a little bit of a break. There's other trees here that'll help break that as well. On the south side, there's a few trees that'll help break a little bit. And if we get to a place where the weather is just really howling from one direction, we can always come out and give them extra protection. So I'm going to set you guys up. We'll film me doing this, probably as kind of a little montage, voiceover, music thing, and we'll see what we end up with. All right. explain to you where I'm leaving things for now. I need to put on a roof of some sort, and so I think what I'm going to do is use T-posts to be kind of using my vocabulary here. Studs? That's not right. Anyway, they're going to be posts. Use the taller ones in the front, smaller ones mid. Gonna get two 2x4x14s to run across at the front, at the mid, and then some 2x2 to strip along the bottom. And then I'm gonna get some corrugated panel roofs to go across. 7 of them should span it. Just 8-foot panels, so they're gonna go from the back to the front. They're about 2 foot wide, a little bit longer than that. They overlap. 7 of them will go across the 12-foot span with some overhang, and that should be it. But we'll probably do that step of it another day, which for you watching this video will be in a few seconds. All right, so we're getting back at doing the pig pen project. We had a pretty good torrential rain pour down on us with some thunderstorms and stuff, so we're getting back at it. But I just wanted to quickly show you, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it on the film, but you can see here they're basically water currents, where the waters rush down and push the debris and stuff as it travels down this way. So that follows the general topography of our land over here. Okay, we've got, get my hand out of the way for focus, higher elevation, and it does generally slope down this general direction. Now, I'm hoping that's not going to be such a big issue for the piggies, and where we got them, especially if we give them good hay, to keep them kind of up off the ground and insulated from that, so that any rain does come, and it doesn't pool. That's the other thing, is it doesn't really pool here. I've even looked when it has been rainy, it does continue to drain off this direction, but the water current does come here. So that's something we're just gonna have to look at and take into consideration. The other thing about that is that we're not planning on this being permanent. Try to make it as permanent, non-permanent as possible, because we know that this is temporary. This is for this season, because this is going to be garden area come springtime when the piggies go off to slaughter. So just wanted to give you guys that little bit of info, and you can watch me as I continue the rest of the build. Okay, so here's what I've done. I saw me putting up the plastic wrap all around the I'm losing the word. What are they called? Pallets. There we go. All around the pallets, just to act as an additional windbreak so that the wind's not passing through the area. And I went ahead and got a tarp for the roof here. I used just really thin OSB for the roofing here, so it's not really good for water, and it will eventually soak through and rot out. Now it's gonna do that anyway, and that's fine because this is a temporary location for the pigs. And some might say that I'm going a little overboard for what this is, but we're gonna be doing pigs over the winter time, and so I want to make sure they have a good shelter from the elements. And basically just screwed it down here, you can see there, and just added some staples in the back. Now, yeah, some water's gonna get through here and down here, but I'm really not worried about it because it's gonna be really at the very back. It's gonna drain out. Not a big deal. Again, this is just kind of more of a, want to keep the water off of it, give it a little bit more strength so that it holds up a little bit better. Don't think I got this on video yet, but I went ahead and built a gate for this area. Very simple gate, just use some 2x3 and some of the rest of the wire, put it together, got some hinges for it, put it on here. It's gonna work just fine. So this area for the pigs is just about ready. Now, one more thing I gotta do, and we're probably gonna have to wait another paycheck to be able to do it, is we wanna add a wire, an electric wire around the perimeter, probably about yay high. So, something not too big, but something enough so that if they start rooting around the fence too much, it'll just keep them away. The rest of the fence is really to keep things out rather than necessary to keep the pigs in. The wire is going to do that for the most part. I just think it's going to be a good idea to have that. So we need to get a power station for that. Now, don't have to get the solar powered one. We can get the one that plugs in. That's not a problem, especially for as short a time as they're going to be here. Then we can upgrade later on, but just going to do a simple wire around the perimeter, and that'll be it. We'll be ready to get our feeder pigs. So God be with you all in all that you do, and remember, keep the faith and keep up the fight. God bless.